Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
How's your day going?
Going good, thank you, yes.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Really, guys?
What? Jackson's always had this game right.
Let's go!
It's the all-wheel drive event at Lithia Ford of Boise. From hunting trips to ski trips to trips to Grandma's house. Nobody does AWD like LFB. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News. Game time is approaching, and we're getting you ready with the latest pregame news, interviews, analysis, and more from BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Have a pregame score prediction or comment? Let us know in the ICCU YouTube chat or leave us a message on the Signature Roofing voice box at speakpipe.com/BNN. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise and our major sponsors Jackson's, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, rowpaint.com, and the Blue and Orange store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State Athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show on Bronco Nation News.
Good evening, Bronco Nation, and welcome to ExtraMile Arena. The coffee is brewing, the energy drinks are flowing. It's going to be a late night, but a fun one, hopefully, for the Broncos here at the X. 9:10 tip-off for Boise State and Grand Canyon Mountain West basketball late night style here on Bronco Nation News. This is the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. We are at ExtraMile Arena here on Bronco Nation News. Grand Canyon, Boise State getting set for some basketball here at the X. And Abe, I'm fired up, man. We're back home. Tough one, triple overtime game there against San Diego State. But new opportunity tonight. And I know the 9 p.m. start does kind of stink, but a chance for the Broncos to get back on the in the win column.
Yeah, and it's that's a nice thing about basketball is that there's a game right around the corner, and you don't have to usually wait a week or longer. You can get out there, you get out on the practice court, you flush that game, how emotional it was, all the ups and downs, then you can come back out on the court.
Yeah, no doubt about it. By the way, in the ICCU YouTube chat, GN Myers 38 has 2 free tickets in the balcony, section 56, and I tell you what, they may be in section 56. You'd probably come down and sit a little lower tonight, Abe, just let folks know if you want to take those seats. So if anybody wants to go, reach out to GN Myers 38, 2 free tickets tonight. Sports guys watching from Minnesota, appreciate you. A live look at warm-ups as Boise State is on the court getting set. And Abe, I know you had some tough losses in your career. I know you touched on it there, but what is that like? I mean, they hurry to the airport. They get back Saturday late, early Sunday morning, I guess, right after the game on the charter. But you got to put it behind you because a big week here, an opportunity for 2 big wins, 2 home games against Grand Canyon and then obviously Utah State. We'll talk more on the post-game show about, but it's a big week, obviously. And what's that like as a player trying to put an emotional triple overtime game where you thought you had the game won multiple times behind you?
Well, you have to confront it, really. I mean, each individual player does that on their own. You have to confront the loss and, the good things that you did in that game, but then also you got to learn from some of the bad things that happened that ended up being such a close loss. But I haven't really been a part of a game like that ever in my playing career where there was such a swing from first half to second half and then went to 3 overtimes. But like I said, basketball, they keep coming. You cannot dwell on a game because you got to get to practice, and then you can't let that loss turn into some other losses like it could be here tonight against Grand Canyon, who I think is about a mid-level team in the Mountain West. But right now, you're starting to see those top teams distance themselves from the middle and from the bottom. And so if you want to be one of the top 4 that get a bye in the Mountain West tournament, this is a must-win, I think. I think right now the middle to bottom teams in the league are going to be must-wins because the top teams are looking pretty tough, especially with Utah State coming in on Saturday.
No doubt about it. Interesting matchup here tonight with Grand Canyon. We were talking to Leon Rice yesterday, but a team that they're not very familiar with. They did have that home-and-home series. What was that, 7 or 8 years
Something
ago?
Like that, yeah.
And the game here in Boise was a double overtime game that Boise State did win, but obviously a new coaching staff, new players. Kind of, they're supposed to enter the league next year when Boise State and all these teams leave. They went ahead and added them a year early to the league, which I know Boise State and a lot of, Jeremiah Dickey said it publicly. They were not happy at the time that Grand Canyon got added in. It changed the schedule around, changed the format of the conference tournament, and obviously just another tough game to add to the schedule. But so unexpected, but we find out, in July, I think it was, or June, that they're joining the league now, and not like a normal conference game against San Diego State where you know what they're going to do and the coaches know each other and all the players know each other. This is almost has the feel of like a non-conference game here in the middle of January.
It does. There's a whole lot of film on them, of course, but just like any non-conference team, but it does feel like it because when you talk about Mountain West, you talk about all these familiar names that you've been playing year after year after year, and you're right. It does kind of feel like a non-conference was just thrown into the mix right in the middle of conference season, but they are in the Mountain West. This counts towards your record. This counts towards getting a bye to that Mountain West tournament. And again, only 4 teams this year because of Grand Canyon get a bye instead of the normal 5 that usually do.
Yeah, that's a big difference having to play on that first day of the tournament.
I've always said in a tournament, the first game you're not very tired. The second game you're not very tired. The third game is where you really start to feel it. I think we saw it last year too against Colorado State. Those 2 emotional wins, San Diego State, New Mexico in the conference in the Mountain West tournament, and then you see just kind of the drag of the third game in the third day. But if you have to play 4 games in 4 days, that does make it very tough.
He's Abe Jackson. My name is BJ Rains. This is the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show on Bronco Nation News, getting you set for Boise State and Grand Canyon. Yes, the Grand Canyon Antelopes getting set for their first game in Boise in 7 or 8 years, now wearing that Mountain West patch on their jersey. They will be one of the premier programs in this conference from a basketball side. They've made the tournament for the last 5 years. I think they've won 30-plus games in the past, and they were a team that, they're jumping up in level to the Mountain West, but they've had some success. We'll get to their record this year, but, as a program, they are one of the teams, the Mountain West, along with New Mexico and Nevada, and some of these teams are going to be hanging their hats on here moving forward when all these teams leave.
Yeah, and I think, it's a huge step from the WAC, I believe, over to the Mountain West. It's a really big step. And so I wouldn't be surprised if you see Grand Canyon hang around the middle of the pack for this year and then maybe next year. But they have a program that has won. You're right. So they don't need to build a winning tradition or a winning mindset. They just got to kind of have to step up how they're doing their normal things.
What do you make of Boise State and what we saw in that game in triple overtime? The first half played awful to fall behind by as many as they did, 24. But second half and overtimes played maybe their best basketball of the season. So what do you make of the swings we saw in that game and obviously trying to get more of what we saw in the second half here consistently moving forward?
Well, the conference so far in the 3 games has just been completely Jekyll and Hyde. In the first half, you're down 10 to Nevada when you go into halftime. First half against New Mexico, you shoot 25%. First half against San Diego State, you shoot 32%, but you give up over 60% in the first half. So first halves for the Broncos have been horrible. There's not really any other way to put it, especially when they back it up with a second half that shows you what they can actually do when they're really starting to play well and the shots are going down and the defense is clicking. So being consistent is probably one of the toughest things that coaches have to deal with in really any sport. How do you get your players to be consistent? And when the fluctuations happen, how do you keep them right here and not right here to there and here? So that's going to be on the coaches and a lot of course, the players too. But it's really tough in any sport. Consistency is probably the toughest thing to really grasp.
And in that New Mexico game, the previous game, we saw him get off to a horrible start in the beginning of the game, then beginning of the second half. Obviously, the first half didn't go great there. You'd like to be earlier on in these games, earlier on in these halves, trying to not play from behind.
No, that's what you want to do. And so I'm sure that there's some things that they're going to change up in this game. And I think one of the things that needs to happen is get the right guys the shots. I feel like Dylan Andrews needs to kind of change the way that he's playing because you don't need a scoring point guard right now. You have scorers on the team that are giving you good shooting percentages along with points. Dylan Andrews is 4 for 27 in his last 2 games. He shot 17 times against San Diego State. And I think that as a point guard on a team like this, you don't need your point guard to shoot 17 times. I think now it was 3 overtimes, so maybe that's a little bit inflated.
Yeah.
I think you need your point guard to shoot maybe around that 9 or 10 times. Still get to the line and knock down your free throws, but you got Fielder shooting over 50%, Meadow shooting over 50%, Buchanan's over 40%, and Dylan Andrews right now is a team low 27% shooting on the year. So I think that just getting some different guys' shots, I think will go a long way.
And here, if he just made that one from the free throw line, everybody'd be loving him right now.
Well, that goes in or not. I think his mindset does have to change for a point guard in what the team needs. And I think the team doesn't need a scoring point guard. I think the team needs a run the offense, dish the ball, take your open shots when they're there, but you just have some other guys who can really fill it up from scoring who need to get the ball and get some more shots.
17 minutes. You'll hear Abe Jackson and Bob Beal over on 670 KBOI Learfield, the Bronco Radio Network, all their affiliates, and we always appreciate him spending a few minutes pregame with us here on Bronco Nation News. And Abe, 2 guys that really got going in that game, again, partially the overtimes, but Javen Buchanan took over at times. Andrew Meadow had a massive game as well. And those are both guys we've talked about where they're clearly 2 of the best offensive players in the team. But at times, whether it's because Andrews is shooting too much or whatever else, they've kind of disappeared at times in games. That was a really nice sign because if you can get Andrew Meadow and Javen Buchanan both clicking on all cylinders together, that's really strong for the offense here.
It is, and they're just so tough to guard because both of them can shoot the 3. Both of them can put the ball on the deck. And really, Buchanan, a little more than Meadow, has a really great back-down game. So they're extremely versatile in how they play. And you're right, they had great games against San Diego State, but I believe both of them were in single-digit scoring against New Mexico. Now, no one played really great offensively against New Mexico, but I think, I'm trying to just go off of memory, I think Andrew Meadow had 4 shots.
And Dylan Andrews had 10.
At 10. Well, and it's not just on Dylan Andrews. I'm saying that those are 2 guys that need to get more shots. I think you need double-digit shots from both of them in the flow of the offense on the places on the court where they feel like they'll be successful. But with them, it's really anywhere. Since they can knock down the 3, they can drive, and then they can also post up.
Now, Leon Rice hinted yesterday when we talked to him there may be a change to the starting lineup. We'll see. Maybe I was reading a little too much into it, but when Nato was out there, and I know RJ Keene does a lot of winning things and makes a lot of plays that they like, but that 5 when it was Dylan Andrews and Nato playing together, and then you had the other 3, Buchanan, Meadow, and Fielder. Offensively, you saw some things, and defensively as well with those 2 guards. I mean, you can say what you want about Andrews offensively right now, but he's still a pest defensively.
He is.
And so is Nato. I don't know if they'll do it or not, but and Leon says, hey, it's not about who starts. That you play 3 minutes and you go off. It's who gets the majority of the minutes later in the game. Certainly that group with Nato out there was really impressive, and I wonder how much we're going to see that tonight.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the starting lineup changed, because we just talked about it. When do you need something to change? You need it to change in the first 3 or 4 minutes, because that's when you've really not been getting off to a hot start. So, yes, it's who plays at the end of the game, but you also don't want to have to be coming back all the time. Boise State, I think, is 0-5 when they're down at half. This year. So you need to have a better first half for sure. Would not surprise me if you see a change in the starting lineup. I love it when Nato and Andrews are out there. You just have some really physical, quick guards, especially on the defensive end.
And I know we only got time for a couple more here, but Nato, man, every game he continues to impress. And that 5th foul was such a shame because it wasn't a foul, and It was made in a tough call. And I know that was, I think, in first overtime, so they still got the triple without him. But, I mean, he had that drive there late in regulation, dished it off to Fielder. I mean, for a freshman, he still has the occasional freshman play where you just scratch your head. But when you realize he's a freshman, some of the plays he's making and the way he's running the offense out there, he looks like a vet.
You know, I don't know if he has more head-scratching plays than other people on the team, you know, as a freshman. I love what Nato does out there, and what I like is that he doesn't look overwhelmed at all. I mean, that play where he dished it off the Fielder with, 10 seconds?
He scored with 10 seconds.
With 10
left.
seconds
the field goal
left,
was missed with a free throw missed with 18
seconds. It would have
seconds
been
left.
so easy to drive the lane, throw something up, maybe try and create a bunch of contact and just flop something up. He had control. He had his head on, and he just made the great pass to Fielder, who also made a nice touch shot, because that's not an easy shot with the clock winding down like that. Nato's knocked down some threes. I just really liked what I've seen from AG Nato.
All right, so Grand Canyon, what do we know about the Antelopes here? They come in at 8-5. They're 119th in the net. They're 101st at Ken Palm, and they've kind of had an up and down year. I mean, they went to Wyoming, and a lot of people thought to start conference play, oh, here comes their welcome to conference moment, and they crushed Wyoming at Wyoming. But then just on Saturday, they're supposed to have this great home court advantage, and I guess a lot of the students were not there, but still, they lose at home to a Colorado State team without their best player. So I know Jaden Henley averaging 17 a game, the UNLV transfer. Bryce Drew, the coach, everybody knows him. His brother's Scott Drew, the Baylor coach, and he had the famous play for Valpo back in the day. But what do we make of the 2025-2026 version of the Lopes?
Oh, really athletic, but, you know, lacking, kind of like with the Broncos right now, lacking consistency. But with that being said, what makes them scary is they got some scorers on the team. They got guys who are averaging in the high teens, and if you're averaging in the high teens, that means you can probably put up in the high 20s if you get hot. So this is a team that I think will end up in the middle to lower part of the Mountain West, but I'll bet there'll be some wins that you star and you say, I did not think they were going to get that one, and hopefully that's not one of them here tonight.
All right, you only got 11 minutes till you're on, so last question. I know Bob's getting scared over there, but keys to the game. How does Boise State put that loss behind them, come out tonight? Maybe not a huge atmosphere, maybe not a huge crowd. I mean, nobody cares. I said it all week. Nobody cares on Selection Sunday what time the game was or what the crowd was. You got to find a way to win tonight. How does Boise State do that?
Dominate every aspect that doesn't have to do with scoring. If you do that, then you're going to start scoring the ball. If you go out there and just start worrying, we got to get hot, we got to get on a roll, we got to score some points, it's not going to happen. If you dominate the glass, if you take some charges, if you get on the floor, if you got some rotations, if you get a press, maybe a 10-second call, those are the things that are going to lead to some points.
Looks like it was 9:15 now. It got pushed back even more, so good luck filling over there. Abe, appreciate it. We'll be listening to you and Bob over on 670 KBOI, and hopefully catch up with you on the postgame show.
All right, man. Good talking to you.
There he is, Abe Jackson. Appreciate him, as always, for his time on the pregame show. Again, you can hear him over on 670 KBOI. Abe Jackson and Bob Beeler coming up at 670 KBOI with the great Bob Beeler and Abe Jackson. Somebody was asking about the officials for tonight's game. Randy Richardson is your lead official. He is number 41 at Ken Palm. Solid ref. That was an NBA and a G League ref, I believe. Randy Richardson, part of the Big Ten Consortium, your lead official, number 41 at Ken Palm. But the other two, one of them is Amy Bonner. If you remember Amy Bonner, she was the official that gave the technical foul to Leon Rice 90 seconds into the game, a minute 26 into the game to be exact. Amy Bonner called a technical foul on Leon Rice in the RGB Rio Grande game, whatever you say their name, earlier in the season. Remember that, Johnny. 90 seconds into the game, John Mallory, KTIK, the ticket joining us. Leon Rice gets teed up by Amy Bonner. She's also the ref. If you happen to see the Rutgers-Oregon game, Johnny, a couple nights ago where there was a foul called late in the game that almost cost Rutgers their first game of the first Big Ten win of the season. She was on the call for that, and it was a rough one. She is on the call tonight, reffing this game. She was in Colorado Springs last night, officiating the Utah State game against Air Force. And then the third official, she's number 112, by the way, at KenPom. And then Mark Riggs checks in at number 125. This is his first Boise State game of the season. Mark Riggs was in Laramie, Wyoming last night, Johnny, and he makes the trek, driving back down probably after the game last night to Denver, gets a quick nap, and then takes an early flight this morning. Life of an official is pretty crazy. But Johnny Ballgame, nice enough to join us here for a couple of minutes. Without we can lower the screen down.
He is a tall man.
We went from
Jackson.
Last home game, we went from Jeff Grammer to Abe, and that was quite the adjustment of the camera. But Johnny, appreciate you for jumping on, man. Back in the X here. Tough triple overtime game the other night, but this is a game Boise State's that they really need this one.
Man, right? I mean, Bob Beeler I think he called it a must-win, like as close as it can get to being a must-win. You just look at the schedule. Obviously, everybody's done that. If you drop this, then you put yourself in a position where you're going to have to go on a run that maybe is possible, but you don't want to have to go on it. Like, what are you doing? Set yourself up a little better. We'll see if they play. I mean, I want to see more attacking the basket from the point guard. Your point guard in a Leon system shouldn't lead the team in shots. The point guard leads this team in shots, and he also
has the lowest percentage.
Yeah, right. I mean, that it's almost like I'm surprised they're playing this well with that scenario. They should have beat San Diego State. You know, if that team shows up here tonight at home, you know, they handled GCU.
The second half team, not the first half.
And then they handled GCU, BJ, and then they get going. I mean,
Utah State on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome here. But if you lose this, then all of a sudden the Utah State game, it just kind of has a different taste in your mouth, I think, of desperation, not necessarily excitement. Because Utah State's obviously Utah State again. I know they don't usually do it on the road as well, but they've come in here many a times and won.
No doubt about that. What do you make of just putting that triple overtime game behind them, man? You were the voice of the Idaho Vandals women's basketball team. You travel with the team. I'm sure there were a lot of times where they just had a devastating loss, and you got to turn around 3 days later and play again. What's that like, you think, for these players just trying to, Andrew Meadow played 51 minutes in that game, and you have to turn around and try to reset and put that behind you and start today. Any worry about any kind of hangover from that game tonight?
I don't think so, right? I think these kids are good to go. They play so many games now growing up, AAU and whatnot. I honestly think they lose track of them. I think it's best just to play. If anything, maybe you would say they get tired. I mean, that was a long game.
Look at this fan base here for GCU.
51 minutes. GCU's new money in basketball. They've done a really good job. They've wanted to matter in basketball, giving like Phoenix a feel that they have their own college team. It's not the Wildcats down in Tucson or necessarily Arizona State. And you've seen that environment. I mean, GCU knows what they're doing. This is a good get for the Mountain West on basketball. It really was. This is a competitive program. They put their money into it. They don't do football, which means that's the big man on campus there. They get Bryce Drew. I believe he has done a pretty good job there. And the guy before him was Dan Marley, who's like a Hall of Fame caliber name. So they do a good job. But you're right. That's a New Mexico-sized student section here.
Out of it, students or parents or fans or what? They got probably 50 people. I mean, some of those sections are
visitors.
Some of these games, there's nobody there. And they're empty. And they're going to have a full section there behind their bench. And they look like they're going to be well lubricated as well. They got the beverages flowing over there. They're going to be ready to go in this game. Tell me this, Johnny. Boise State, Dylan Andrews, you mentioned the point guard and his issues, but I like NATO, man, and I'm not saying NATO should play over Andrews. I'd like to see them play together. I was talking to Abe about this, but in that second half, I really liked what I saw when we love R.J. Keene, Signature Roofing. He deserves to play and do some things, but at times when NATO was in there for Keene, I thought that that five really clicked.
Trying to think of a comp on NATO because he's like a combo 1-2. He's stronger than you think. He can take advantage of smaller players. I think you're going to see him be able to score down low as his career continues to. I think Leon got a really good player in NATO. I like his game a lot. Anytime he's on the floor, I would feel comfortable if I'm one of these coaches there. And the minutes just continue. Seems like we've met in the media sessions. Good head on his shoulders, just a basketball nerd, wants to get better, is getting better. That was a really big sign for them. And there might be a game, BJ, where he just drops 30 out of nowhere. And he just gets hot, and Leon leaves him in. As you know, if you're hot, Leon leaves you in. And maybe that's tonight. Maybe it's coming up. But I really like NATO's game. Andrew Meadow, I just think needs to be more active. And Javen Buchanan, I liked what I saw with him last week, and it just feels like Javen Buchanan he's got a lot of potential. He can be really tough to stop.
He needs to be the one taking 12-plus shots a game.
I agree. I think Meadow.
He can back guys down. He can shoot the three. Like Buchanan needs to do second half Tyson Degenhart where he just took over some games.
I've been saying that since before the season started with the weight he put on, and then we didn't even get to Drew Fielder, who's a high-level three-point shooter, certainly when he's open.
Rajon Rondo, by the way, somebody said for NATO. What do you think of that?
I don't hate that. That's actually not bad.
Sorry, you were talking about Drew Fielder.
No, it's okay. I like that comp. Not really Joe Dumars because he's bigger. Sam Cassell, I don't know. There's kind of I don't know.
Andrew Meadow also is shooting better than 50% from the field, better than 40% from three.
Yep.
He had, 29 points in the game there at San Diego State. Like, he's a guy that needs to keep shooting too.
Meadow, and Meadow's not a shot creator, at least not in, Leon's schemes.
No, but he's done a better job of getting to the rack a little more, being a little more physical at the rim.
If he did, I think I would hope he'd be scoring a little more, though. Yeah. Be aggressive, then let me see more of that, Yeah. But sometimes if you're just going to hang out and wait for the open three, sometimes the ball just doesn't find you, especially when your point guard is leading the team in shots. It doesn't necessarily find you as much as you want, and not just the point guard, but other players as well. It's tough to get a shot up. There's a lot of shots to go around here.
Well, let's get a football take from you. What do you think of the DeMario Warren news leaving for BYU?
I know Utah's big for him. He was at Southern Utah as the head coach, and BYU was in the Big 12, and that's big boy stuff. And is it the same position?
Yeah, I think defensive passing game coordinator, and then defensive backs coach, they called it.
Yeah. I mean, our Boise State fans, I think he proved last year.
This time last year, there would have been a lot more people celebrating this. I still saw some people not that worried about it, but I think with how they played the last year, I agree. I think they did a good job. And now you look at it, Johnny, they lose their safeties coach, both starting safeties, their corners coach, both starting corners. Going to be a lot of change there in the secondary this year.
Yeah, Sherrod Smith, pencil him in, and I like him at one corner. I think that's going to work. And then I think I saw Mickey is going to play the other corner, not nickel. And I don't know what that means. What do you do with Ganter? Does he replace Zion or does he replace Mickey at nickel? And then what do you do at field safety? I would imagine Sherrod Smith's your McCoy, your field corner, because he was last year when McCoy went down and I think played really well. Safety, I guess I'm not as certain there, but you're right. You're going to have a safeties coach and a corners coach. All new coaching staff back there as well. So maybe that's a good thing, though.
Yeah, people wanted some fresh blood, some change. Prater was one of those guys saying, let's see some change there. And now you get a new wide receivers coach as well. And so we'll see what happens there on the but some visitors coming in. Folks can check BroncoNationNews.com. Your man,
what's going on?
I'm watching my guy Mark Ridley here coming in with the varsity B jacket here. His son looks like he's ready to go for a.
Oh yeah, there he is.
Is he ready to go direct traffic out there, or
did he just get off his shift?
I don't know what we have going on.
He's
here.
walking in front of the camera right here,
I don't know
guys.
what we have. We have
right here.
We have
the construction
we
guy.
have the construction worker here. And I guess he's ready to cause some havoc there. And I like the jacket there too from Mark Ridley. Final thing, man. 9-point spread tonight. I think 8.5. How are you feeling about that?
I don't know. I mean, their leading scorer is on his fourth school in 4 years. He's dropping about 18 a night.
He's played in this building
with UNLV.
Yeah.
I saw that. The only players they have that aren't from another school are their 2 freshmen who get some pretty good run. I think this team's good enough to beat Boise State, but I don't know, man. I've been wrong on my Boise State predictions this year.
Leon Rice teams usually respond.
They do. I hit San Diego State, but barely. I almost don't deserve to claim that. I mean, Boise State should have stinking won that game. It's ridiculous.
Bet you weren't sweating it when they were up 24.
No, man. Nah. Good point.
Well, Johnny, appreciate you, man. And any big guests or anything coming on Idaho Sports Talk this week?
Let's see. John Bates.
Okay, it's a big one.
Dirk Cutter.
That's a big one.
Dang it. I'm forgetting some. But, yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate it.
Those two.
And appreciate you for coming on. And we'll be listening to Idaho Sports Talk 3 to 6 on KTIK, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for your time, man. Johnny Ballgame. There he is. Appreciate him for coming on and joining us. Bob Beeler, Abe Jackson are over on 670 KBOI with their call. We got the great Johnny Ballgame. Nathan Carroll's going to join us in a minute. I want to thank a few sponsors as well. Of course, Lithia Florida Boise, our title sponsor and our pregame show sponsor here. Lithia Florida Boise online at lithiafordboise.com. They got some great deals and offers going on right now. 0% APR for 60 months and 0 down. Check out Lithia Florida Boise online at lithiafordboise.com. Hope you guys are enjoying a Sun Cruiser right now. I'm jealous that I'm not. Sun Cruiser, real iced tea, a real vodka. Low carb, low calorie, 4.5% alcohol. They have the tea vodkas. They also have the lemonade vodkas. Highly recommend both. The lemonade iced tea is tremendous. The strawberry lemonade vodka, tremendous as well. Check out Sun Cruiser, our studio sponsor here at BNN. Hey, Pearson Carmichael, we appreciate him for his support of ICCU. They've got the NIL deal there, so appreciate Idaho Central Credit Union. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest, that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Check out Idaho Central Credit Union online at ICCU.com. Everyone's favorite, Nathan Carroll, going to join us momentarily here. We'll get Nathan's thoughts, basketball, football. Always enjoy Nathan making an appearance here on the pregame show. Nathan Carroll coming up in just a second. But want to thank Jackson's. If the Broncos can get 75 cents tonight, you get 75 points. You get a 75-cent fountain drink at Jackson's. That's 2 days after the game. They need 1 day to kind of get ready. And then on Friday, you get 75-cent fountain drink at Jackson's with Let's Go Rewards app. Any size if the Broncos can get 75 points tonight from our friends at Jackson. So you actually need to root for 83 points tonight, though, because Taco Bell, if you're in the crowd tonight and have a ticket stub, Taco Bell is giving away a free taco for anybody that has a ticket stub when the Broncos score 83 points. So if the Broncos get to 83 in a home game and you've got a ticket stub, Treasure Valley Taco Bell location tomorrow will give you a free taco. So I think we'll have Johnny Ballgame chanting, free tacos or something if they're at 82 points and they're at the free throw line or something, but 83 points gets you a free taco with your ticket stub from our friends at Taco Bell. And I also want to thank the Blue and Orange store. Travis Hawks will be here fired up, ready to go. You need that Boise State gear, you know where to go. The Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com. You can order anywhere in the world at theblueandorangestore.com. They got the Boise Town Square Mall location, also the location there at the Allen Noble Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com. All right, we are back on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. We got our man Nathan Carroll. Look at the stash, man. Oh, I had you muted. Sorry. There you go. Wow.
It's here. It's all the way out. It's winter time. It felt about right. My wife hates it.
I was going to ask what she thought of it.
Yeah, she thinks it looks good, but she doesn't. She's like, it's fun for a week, and then I'm tired of it. So,
yeah.
We'll see how long it sticks around.
Well, appreciate you for gracing us with your presence tonight. By the way, not much of a student crowd tonight. I'll go ahead and just pan over to the students. As expected, probably going to be not much of a student crowd tonight. We are still 33 minutes from tip-off, but they are on winter break right now. Not expecting many students to be here for this one. I just dropped our connection here. Hopefully we're still connected on Wi-Fi. I just dropped the thing. But what do you make? 9 p.m. game, late start. Probably not going to be a huge crowd, but certainly a game that Boise State needs to win.
Yeah, definitely. I hate using the term must win on January 7th, but
if you want an at-large bid, you have to win tonight.
If you want an at-large bid, like if you lose this one, it's pretty much win out the rest of the way. And I know it feels insane to be talking about at-large bids after the Hawaii Pacific loss. I know that we had bracketologists and fans saying season's over, right? It's Vegas or bust, win the Mountain West tournament. And Boise State did a really nice job bouncing back, grabbing wins against Butler, grabbing wins against a win against St. Mary's on a neutral floor. Like, they still are in contention for an at-large bid. And if you want the at-large bid, this one really is going to be a must-win. But even beyond that, you know, if this is a Vegas or bust type of season for Boise State men's basketball, it's a big one for seeding, right? Like, you got to win your home games in what should be a really competitive Mountain West at the top, especially now that top 4 seeds get buys, right? You can't slide into that 5th spot. So, I think you can call it a must-win. I hate doing that, but I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, and Abe Jackson was talking about that earlier. Yeah, I mean, there's a big difference now between the 4 and the 5. Now, the 5 does play the last-place team, but still, it adds up over time if you're trying to win 4 games in 4 days to get to the tournament here. So what do you make of what you're seeing right now from the Broncos? Triple overtime game the other night obviously didn't go their way, but, you know, first half was terrible. Second half was unbelievable. Obviously, we want to see some more of the second half and overtime with what we saw than compared to the first half or the start of the first half, second half against New Mexico, where they really got outplayed. But overall, what do you who are you liking? What are you liking? I mentioned before you came on the lineup with NATO in there over Keene. I really liked as well, and I do like Keene. I think he makes some winning plays. But right now, in terms of that 5 together, when we saw that for stretches, I will be checking here to see if they make any changes to the starting lineup. I don't know if they will, but I continue to be impressed with NATO, and when he plays with Andrews, I liked what I saw the other night in the second half.
Yeah, there was a lot of reaction after that game because Dylan Andrews didn't have the best game about, man, AG NATO, he's so good. He's got to go in over Dylan Andrews, start him over Dylan Andrews. And I'm sitting here saying, I think you got to start both of them, right? That was the lineup in the second half. It was Andrews, NATO, Meadow, Buchanan, and then a big, right? They switched out Fielder and Parolin quite a bit there in the second half. Like, that to me is very clearly your best 5. When you get that group together, that's the one that looks like an NCAA tournament team. And that's the lineup they pretty much ran almost the entire second half. I think no bench player in the second half of that game played more than 3 or 4 minutes. They pretty much rode those 4 guys, with Fielder or Dominic Parolin sliding in as the center the whole time. I think that's the best 5. It's the 5 I would run with. And I love RJ Keene coming off the bench. What's the best thing about RJ Keene? What does RJ Keene bring more than anything else? It's energy. In theory, you shouldn't need energy at the start of the ball game, right? Like, guys should be ready to rock and roll from tip. But RJ Keene coming off the bench, bringing a little energy, bringing a little chaos. Yeah. I love that. And to me, it's a loss. There aren't moral victories when you're trying to get in that large bid. But at the end of the day, I think you found your best 5, and I think that in and of itself is encouraging and something to build on here down the stretch.
Yeah, and I want to see more shots for Andrew Meadow and more shots for Javen Buchanan.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Javen Buchanan, what an unreal game against San Diego State, especially in that second half. I know at one point it was 10 for 10. Just any time that he took a shot, it felt like it was going in, and it pretty much did go in almost the entire game. I think the best version of this team is Javen Buchanan creating shots for himself with the combination of NATO and Andrews being able to play off each other, help get Fielder shots, help get Meadow shots. Because the hard thing about Andrew Meadow, he's an incredible corner shooter. He's exceptional attacking closeouts, getting to the rim. He's not someone who's always been elite at just giving the ball and let him get his own shot. he kind of needs that guard to create off of him, which is why he was so good last year with Alvaro Cardenas. And I think why things went so well with Nato and Andrews. Having two, I think you just call them point guards at this point. You can call them a combo guard or whatever, but 2 point guards playing next to Meadow, it just increases the playmaking on the floor. And I thought allowed him to get a lot of really good looks, allowed him to get the ball in spaces and places where he was able to attack off closeouts, attack when San Diego State's defense was in rotation.
Hey, look, it's Johnny Ball. Oh, no, it's not Johnny Ballgame.
Got a strapping young lad in an all-white suit that I think Johnny could rock that.
There's a guy in a white suit right there. I thought that was Johnny Ballgame for a second, but I guess it's no sport coat tonight for Johnny Ballgame. The fans are a little disappointed. But.
Yeah.
Buchanan, yes, and Meadow shooting over 50% from the field.
Yes.
He had a great game, and hopefully that was a coming out party for him.
Yeah, and I think there's a reason that his coming out kind of occurred with Nato and Andrews on the floor together. Look, Dylan Andrews, the shooting numbers weren't great. He was phenomenal, creating plays for being able to put the defense in conflict. Same for AG Nato. So, yeah, I think if you want to unlock Andrew Meadow, I think having Nato and Andrews on the floor together is definitely going to do that. And it felt like, now, here's the thing, this is about building momentum. How many times last season did we say it felt like Boise State unlocked something? It felt like they found their best 5. All for that to completely unravel and then have to sort of re-put apart in the next couple of games. I really want to see Boise State tonight build on that 5. Let that 5 be your best 5 and just be the group down the stretch that you feel really good about. I think within that group, you see Nato getting good shots. You see Buchanan being able to create for himself. You see Meadow getting good looks. That's really the big thing I want to see tonight. Let's let that 5 continue to be the best 5 for the Broncos.
Shout out, by the way, to the women's basketball team. They got a 70-59 win at Air Force. So the women's basketball team wins at Air Force 70-59. Mark Ridley didn't give me any kettle corn. What the heck there? Come on, Mr. Ridley. We love Ridley's Family Markets. We'll be telling you more about them here momentarily. But Broncos should be back on the court shortly. We'll show you the warm-ups and things. Let's get a football thought or two from you while we're sitting here waiting for the team to come back on the onto the court. Let's go coaching staff first. 3 changes to the coaching staff. We know one of the new additions hasn't been announced yet, but now the defensive side loses DeMario Warren today. We already knew about from Sunday, I believe it was, losing here comes the team, by the way, coming back out onto the court. You can see the crowd 26 minutes before tip-off, but losing Stockton to Michigan. So now you lose your safeties coach and your corners coach. We'll go portal in a second, but just coaching staff-wise, any thoughts on the 3 coaches that have departed?
I mean, what a great place to coach where even when fans want you fired, you're getting pay raises and promotions to other jobs, right? Like you're getting Big 10 and Big 12 jobs. I think it's big losses in a lot of ways, particularly DeMario Warren. I know he wasn't a fan favorite coming into the year, but by the end of the year, the cornerbacks were, I think, unassailably the best position group on the team. Not only was Amarion McCoy and Jeremiah Irby both all Mountain West players, Sherrod Smith comes in for Amarion McCoy at the end of the year and looks phenomenal. Demetrius Freeney against Colorado State, his first start as a Bronco looked exceptional. So I think that cornerback room developed really nicely. So I think losing DeMario Warren's actually going to be a pretty big loss for the Broncos. And I'm curious, does he try to bring anyone with him? That's something we've seen before when coordinators or position coaches leave. They'll try to get one of the guys at their old school in the portal at their new gig. Does DeMario Warren try to bring along a Sherrod Smith or a Demetrius Freeney? Because I think those 2 guys are immensely talented. I think they're both slotted into, if not starters, at the very least in a 3-man rotation at outside corner heading into next year. So I think DeMario Warren's a big loss. Stockton's interesting because obviously Ty Benefield, tremendous athlete, goes to the portal, goes to LSU, which we learned today. So clearly Stockton was doing some things right. I was more critical of the safeties this year than most. I thought Zion Washington, I think is fine. He's not a bad football player, but I thought Derek Ganter Jr. had outplayed him and yet couldn't crack the starting lineup. I thought throughout the season that was an interesting rotational depth chart decision. And then Ty Benefield, for the athlete that he is, he's likely going to be a future NFL prospect. There were some cases of blown coverages and missed tackle issues this year. Like, does that fall on Eric Chenander? Does that fall on Stockton? We'll see. But I thought by and large, the safeties were a little disappointing this year. So I think it's a spot that isn't, let's say, irreplaceable. I don't think he's a guy who's going to be irreplaceable for the Broncos, but it's all about, can you hit the next hire, right? It doesn't matter how good the guy was before. If you don't get this hire right, things are going to get worse. And conversely, if they hit a home run at safeties, you could be looking at a really good position group next year.
I missed this one. I guess Jalen Webb committed to Nevada.
Ooh, I did not see that one. No, that's good for the did you see the Instagram post that Choate put out?
Yeah, he's all about right now just the getting guys come play for us and go to Oregon in a year.
Yeah, and I can't remember the exact terminology, so I'll paraphrase a
feeder
little bit.
System,
just a
whatever.
Feeder team. Yeah, just come here and then make your way to Oregon, which
he said that multiple times, man. Come here, get developed, get your opportunity to play, and go get $1.4 million from Oregon next year.
Yeah, I'm curious how Nevada fans feel about that. Like a coach that's embracing, hey, we're going to develop you and send you off elsewhere, especially because the Wolfpack haven't won a ton of games while doing it. So I didn't see that. Jalen Webb, I mean, he was a guy that I thought looked good in practices. Was a guy that we thought could maybe break into part of that nickel safety rotation this year. Obviously hits the portal instead. So, I'd say a good pickup for Nevada. I think he's probably going to play there. So good for them.
Back to basketball here. We got about 22 minutes on the clock. You see there's the Mr. and Mrs. Carmichael over there. So Eric Carmichael and Pearson's mom and family's here, so we'll see. Last time they were here, he had a pretty good game, so we'll see if the family in attendance helps with the Peanut Carmichael's game tonight. But where should this matchup be played? What do you think Boise State fans should be looking for? What does GCU do? I don't know how much you've studied the numbers for this game, but obviously they've got Jaden Henley, a former UNLV player, averaging over 17 a game. What do you make of just this team and the matchup tonight, Boise State and Grand Canyon?
Yeah, Grand Canyon, they want to play physical. They want to crash the glass, right? They've got a lot of similar core concepts to what Boise State wants to do. I mean, this is a game that when the ball hits the rim and doesn't go in, it's going to be a lot of fun to see these two teams compete and battle on the boards. I would not be surprised if this is a game where things get chippy, see a lot of off-ball fouls, a lot of that stuff kind of going on. Seeing Drew Fielder get animated, we've seen that in a couple games this year where, Drew Fielder, he's got an attitude to him from time to time, especially when someone riles him up. We saw that against St. Mary's, saw it against San Diego State. So their identity, though, is they want to rebound the ball. They want to play defense. They had a slobber knocker game this year against Iowa where it was 59-46, where it just seemed like neither team could score all game long. Like they want to muck it up and kind of let Jaden Henley just run the offense for them. They really they go as Henley does. You mentioned it. He's over 17 points per game. He's their leading scorer. It's going to be critical for the Broncos to be able to slow down Henley if they're going to be able to slow down the Antelopes offense, which all in all has not been a great offense this year. It's been up and down. When Henley gets going, they've had some good outspurts, but when he's struggled, the team as a whole has struggled, particularly from beyond the three-point arc, shooting 30.3% from three this year, which is in the bottom 60, I believe, in Division I basketball, like well below the average of about 33%. So Grand Canyon, they want to play defense. They want to rebound. I think it's a game that you're probably not going to see a blowout either way. It's probably going to be kind of a muck-it-up, slow-paced game that we're talking it's within reach for either team for most of the game.
Well, Ken Palm's got it at like 9 points, I think.
And I think it's a kind of game where it's it's a maybe 6-point game with 10 minutes left and finishes right around 9, right? Not one of those games where it's 10, 15 points the whole way. Just the way these two teams play, it's very similar. Just so far this season, Boise State's done it at a little bit higher level than Grand Canyon has. So that's kind of how I look at the matchup and see it playing itself out. Really, the thing I'm looking at is just the two teams on the glass. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see them compete for boards. I think it's going to be physical. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. If you like good, physical, gritty basketball, if you want blue-collar mentality basketball, I think we're going to get that tonight.
Yeah, somebody was asking earlier about the officials. You see them on the court right now. Randy Richardson is the lead official. He's over there talking to the scorer's table right now. Number 41 ranked official at Ken Palm. He was an NBA ref, a G League ref, I believe, and now is back doing some college games as part of the Big Ten Consortium. He is number 41 at Ken Palm. Amy Bonner, if you watched the Oregon-Rutgers game the other night, You know what play I'm talking about?
I do, yeah.
Amy Botter was 2 nights ago in New Jersey for the Rutgers-Oregon game and made I'll just say perplexing call under the basket with about 20 seconds left. And then it led to a three-pointer by Oregon, which put the game in overtime. But I think Rutgers still did end up winning the game. But it was a kind of a viral play that went underneath the basket, a viral kind of call refs have rough days that missed the call. But with the way the refs and the 5 fouls and all that in the game against San Diego State, I know there's a little more I guess attention right now on the officials. I think Saturday's game, frankly, is more important who the officials are in that game, and this is a Wednesday game. You typically get better officials when there's not as many games going on. You do get Randy Richardson, like I said, 41 at Ken Pom, but Amy Bonner, number 112 at Ken Pom. Amy and Randy both were doing the Utah State Air Force game last night in Colorado Springs. Our third official, Mark Riggs, the tall, bald guy there at center court, he is ranked 125 at Ken Pom. He was in Laramie last night for UNLV and Air Force. UNLV and Wyoming. So both of them all three had a little bit of a drive, flew out of Denver this morning, I assume, and then got a nap in, and here we go for a 9 o'clock tip-off. So we'll don't forget Amy Bonner, and I'm not trying to harp on her. She's actually, over the last couple of years, I've heard really good things. She's actually grades out pretty well as an official. Just they sometimes have calls that stick with them as not being great, but she also gave Leon Rice the technical 90 seconds into the game against Rio Grande Valley or whatever back in the second game of the season. There was a illegal screen called on Drew Fielder on the first possession of the game, and she gave maybe the earliest technical in the history of college basketball to a coach. 126 into the game, she gave Leon Rice a technical, so we'll see if there's any lingering effects from that. But final thing or two, we got to get off here. We're getting ready for tip-off here, but 9 o'clock game. What do you make of it? In the New Mexico game, we had a really good crowd, but now you have students back in school, younger kids back in school. That there's no break for elementary school, middle school kids. It is a school night for them, so some of those parents may not be able to bring them tonight. Doesn't look, at least right now, like it's going to be quite the crowd it was for New Mexico. But as I said earlier, the selection committee doesn't care what time the game is or what the crowd is. This is hopefully the folks that are here for Boise State's sake, are the diehards that want to be here and make some noise. Because I'm telling you, I was there at San Diego. I go to these games, the crowd makes an impact. And it's a real, refs, calls, fans, all that stuff really does matter. And Boise State is so close to having just such an absolutely, I would say they have a good home court advantage. The stats show it. They win a lot of home games, but they're so close to having a great home court advantage with how loud this place can get. Big game tonight, and you hope that the crowd brings it as well.
Yeah, and look, I'll say this. For still being 16 minutes before tip-off, it's maybe my expectations are too low. I'd say this is a little bit better crowd than I even expected. Grand Canyon's not a marquee name. Boise State is not a team that's, this is not a fringe top 25 team that I'd say very casual fans are all in on quite yet. A lot of fans are still thinking about football season, right? I think the crowd is better than what I was expecting. And ultimately what matters, you talked about the New Mexico game, how engaged are the people that are here, right? I've been to games here at ExtraMile Arena where it's, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people, but it's a good atmosphere because those who are here are engaged. I've been to games here at ExtraMile where it's probably 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, and yet it feels like it's a sleepy Thursday afternoon because no one's in there. And ultimately, like you said, all the selection committee cares about is the result. How does the team play? And as long as the team isn't sleepy, that's ultimately what matters. But yeah, it's just the unfortunate reality of kind of TV contracts and TV providers.
I really hope that in the Pac-12 it's not the same, but that's what they bring to TV markets is that late night time zone. So you're probably going to get some more of them as well.
And there's pretty much no avoiding it. You got Big 10 and Big 12 schools complaining about tip-offs. Now you've even got some of the SEC schools who are less marquee. They'll have the early tip-offs. So then you'll get fans complaining about, man, we've got a 4 p.m. local tip before we're even off of work, before kids are out of school, that sort of thing. So there really is.
The Mick Cronin one about the game being at 8:30 was hilarious.
Oh, man.
Come on, they play 9. This game is going to tip at 9:15 tonight. Get over it.
Yeah, you're the head coach at UCLA. I don't know what you were expecting. That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, Mick. But Mick Cronin, I feel like will find a way to complain about anything. He'd complain about having a primetime tip-off because it means the other team's more motivated. So
how about this, though? We do have some breaking news, some changes to the starting lineup. Johnny Ballgame, how about this? Not one, but two changes to the starting lineup tonight. A.G. Nato is in, R.J. Keene is out, and Dominic Parolin will get the start tonight for Boise State, maybe sending a message. Drew Fielder will come off the bench in tonight's game. Wow. Johnny Ballgame looks stunned over there. You have A.G. Nato. Fans, I think, are excited to see him start. Yep. But Dominic Parolin will set the tone and get the start tonight over Drew Fielder. That is a surprise.
Bewildering, I would say. I mean, you can make a case Drew Fielder is Boise State's best player. And really the one place my mind immediately goes is we've seen Leon do this before with guys who have had foul trouble before. Right, like we saw this with Jamin Buchanan last year as an example. Got a start or two early in the season, dealt with foul trouble, so he said, let's bring you off the bench. We can get you 4 free minutes early in the game where you don't pick up a foul. Maybe that's what this is, but no Drew Fielder in the starting lineup. You hope it is just something like that, not potentially an injury, right?
He was warming up out here before the game, right. So I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah, if it's an injury, they sold it really well because he was warming up and dunking and shooting and doing all the things you'd expect. So, yeah, that's surprising to say the least. And look, we're bringing this. I get that perspective from a Drew Fielder has been so good perspective. Dominic Parolin had a really good game against San Diego State. I mean, rebounds the ball. He's what I would call a low ego player, right? He can impact the game without taking a bunch of shots. And by removing R.J. Keene from the lineup, who's ultra low ego, like maybe Leon just felt we have to get Nato on the floor, but at the same time, we can't have 5 guys who kind of need the ball in their hands to be at their best. So maybe he feels like, all right, let's put Parolin in the starting lineup. We can bring Fielder off the bench with some of the bench guys who maybe aren't quite the shot takers. It's I don't know. I'm searching for answers here. It's surprising to say the least. A.G. Nato starting, not a shock though, I would say.
Well, we got to get out of here. They got the national anthem coming, and then we're getting set for tip-off here. The game will be on FS1. We appreciate all of our great sponsors for checking us out here and supporting us. We appreciate all of you. Check out Ridley's Family Markets. Shop Ridleys.com, rowpaint.com. 20% off all your painting projects. Of course, Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Element Fencing, elementfencing.com. You can check them out. Transportation Compliance Service, transcompservice.com. And, of course, Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. We did not make it off before the national anthem, so we'll stay on a couple more minutes. Here is the national anthem, and we'll be right back here on Bronco Nation News online at bronconationnews.com. We'll be right back.
It's the all-wheel drive event at Lithia Ford of Boise. From hunting trips to ski trips to trips to Grandma's house. Nobody does AWD like LFB, Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Eat Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, a flaming hot grilled cheese burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
All right, we're back on the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. The national anthem is concluded, getting set for Boise State Grand Canyon. We're, I think, technically supposed to be off before the anthem, but we'll go 1 minute or so more here to get you set for tip-off. The game is coming up over on FS1. Go subscribe to Bronco Nation News. It is $5 right now a month, $5 a month at BroncoNationNews.com. They extended I don't know if I told you this or not, but they extended the sale through the end of the transfer portal because they wanted to, they made a last-minute decision to extend the sale through the transfer portal, 50% off an annual subscription to BNN. So we appreciate everybody for checking us out. We'll have the post-game show. Nathan, we'll figure out to coordinate the post-game show afterwards, but Abe Jackson will join us. You'll hear from Leon Rice. You'll hear from some players, hopefully a victorious post-game show for Boise State. But, again, Dom Parolin starting for Drew Fielder. I sat in front of Drew Fielder's dad on the flight back from San Diego on Sunday. Awesome dude. Enjoyed talking to him and met him in Maui at the Invitational. So I'm penny for his thoughts right now. Yeah, I'll just say that for Drew Fielder not starting tonight. But as you said, maybe there's something else to it. And Leon Rice has really pushed it's who finishes the game, not who starts the game, and we'll see. But very interesting to get Drew Fielder out of the starting lineup and Dom Parolin in. And you also have the other change, NATO in, Keen out, which we thought could happen. So should be interesting. Enjoy the game, everybody. Appreciate you for checking us out. Check out BroncoNationNews.com. We got the message boards. Chris, Nathan, everybody's tracking all the recruiting coverage. We got all the visits, and now we have more coaching news to track as well with Demario Warren leaving. So we got you covered at Bronco Nation News, online at BroncoNationNews.com. Should be a fun one. Boise State favored by 8.5 points. Would love to see if they can win by double digits, kind of coast, let these fans leave early and get to bed tonight, maybe with a 20-point win or something. We'll see. But enjoy the game, everybody. Appreciate you guys for checking us out. We'll be back on the post-game show live here at ExtraMile Arena. Boise State, Grand Canyon coming up from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Have another Sun Cruiser for us. We appreciate you, and we will talk to you guys soon at Bronco Nation News, online at BroncoNationNews.com. He's Nathan Carroll. For Abe, for Johnny, for everybody on the BNN crew, my name is BJ Rains. Enjoy the game. And this has been the Lithia Ford Boise pregame show. We'll see you with the Jacksons postgame show coming up postgame. Boise State, Grand Canyon, coming up here in a couple minutes on Bronco Nation News, online, BroncoNationNews.com. Enjoy the game, everybody.